Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. Match day 1 review of Serie A, and the best way to wrap it up, to sum up this match day 1, is unserious. Unserious Serie A. You know, the fact that Hellas Verona are top with Lazio and Juve says a lot. The fact that both Inter and AC Milan couldn't win, they both drew. And then Antonio Conte, for the first time in his Serie A career, losing an opening day match. It says a lot. It says a lot about this opening weekend of fixtures. I didn't manage to catch them all. Did you guys? Let me know which ones you managed to catch. I don't like when they do those overlapping fixtures, you know, 2 fixtures at the same time. Like, what's the point of that? Obviously, there was also a lot of controversy and issues around the TV deals, you know, even here in the UK. Inter were on TNT, and then the other matches were on One Football, free to watch. But then in the next match days, they're saying that you're going to have to pay $3.99 or $4.99 per game, which doesn't sound too bad, but it's just all very fragmented, and yeah, it doesn't look good on Serie A. And then there's just the UK. Across the rest of the world, there was many issues, which still looks like they're ongoing. So shit show off the field as usual, but on the field, back to entertainment as always with Serie A. I've enjoyed it this first match day. Lots of surprise, which is why we like Serie A. You know, with the Premier League, there was pretty much no surprises, no shocks in the Premier League. Whereas in Serie A, you know, Genoa drawing to Inter, Torino going away to Milan, Hellas Verona beating Napoli. Like, you know, this is what we like about this league, that, you know, the fact that there's less money all around means that, you know, even the smaller teams can punch above their weight. A few confirmations we got though is that Venezia, they were my prediction to finish bottom, if I recall correctly in my prediction video, and they do look like the weakest and worst team in Serie A for sure. They went ahead against Lazio briefly initially, and then Lazio thrashed them 3-1, and it could have been worse. But nice to see Lazio starting off well. Some interesting players that I saw. I saw the highlights of the Lazio game. I wasn't able to watch that one, but Dele Bashiru, the new Nigerian midfielder, he looks good. He might be one of my breakout Serie A players for the season. And let's see, Tati Castellanos can take over the mantle of Ciro Immobile. Milan under Fonseca. Whoo! I was watching that game. I watched the whole of the second half. I caught bits of the first half, but they look shaky at the back. I thought that was one thing that Fonseca was going to work on defensively. You know, Fofana should help with that. Yusuf Fofana, the new centre midfield signing, a proper DM coming in, should help solidify, because both Benacer, Reinders, none of those guys really like, you know, the defensive side of the game. But yeah, they look really shaky at the back. Malik Thiaw, that own goal, I mean, what the hell was he doing there? Yeah, they look susceptible at the back. But then, you know, once they turn it on, once the crowd got going, and, you know, all those subs, every single one of those subs made an impact. Morata, Okafor coming on, Musa. You know, that's the thing with Milan. They're built on last year's squad. It's not a stellar squad, but they're still built on it last year. And it's still, I would say, you know, I still maintain my prediction for now. Again, I'll probably make another final prediction after the Mercato ends in you know, was it 11, 12 days or so. But until then, you know, I think we got a lot of confirmations of what we saw. I mean, Juve, I just watched the Juve game. Again, I only caught the second half. Really impressive, as I said in my prediction video. What I'm banking on the Juve is not really the Mercato, the squad in general. I'm not really impressed by a lot of the individual players, but what I'm banking on, unfortunately, and what I think is they have a really top coach, and I think Thiago Motta is the next big coach coming out of Italy. You know, after Simone Inzaghi, I think Thiago Motta has been going to be one of those ones talked about around Europe and around world football. We saw, if you watch the game, Juve, lots of interesting ideas similar to Bologna. The build-up, you know, Como as well. You know, we talked about Venezia being bad. Como looked really bad, actually. Fabregas has a lot of work to do, but the reason why I predicted Como not to finish in the relegation was because I have kind of faith that their ownership, very rich ownership, will make moves to solidify the team, like Rafa Varane, those types of move, Belotti. So they should be okay, whereas Venezia just won't be able to, unless Drake pumps more money in after the Nike knocked the deal. But anyway, back to Juve. Yeah, like Cambiaso in this weird inverted role that similar that he had already with Thiago Motta at Bologna. He looked really, really good. Kefren Turam straight in, one of the best players on the pitch. At the back they look solid, but Como did like basically nothing. Gatti is their captain. I mean, this is the thing, Thiago Motta, he's a ballsy guy. Like, this guy made ballsy decisions even when he was at Bologna. In terms of the, like the leadership, the armband, like he did something similar with Arnautovic when Arnautovic was at Bologna. Trusting Mbangula straight away, match day one. The whole Chiesa drama going on. They only had 19 players in the squad, by the way. We're talking about Inter. Maybe have like, we need to cover some gaps here. Like, we need to improve here and there. But Juve literally turned up with just about a match day squad in terms of numerically. And Thiago Motta puts in Mbangula, this young guy from the next gen team, got a goal and an assist. Timothy Weah was, probably, I think they were only signing last year for Juve officially. Was deemed a flop, quite rightly, but looks like he might have a new lease of life under Motta in this 4-2-3-1 as a right winger or as one of the wingers. Scored a goal. Yildiz, given the number 10, looks like he's ready to take on the mantle. Obviously, he needs to prove himself, but he looked really good. Douglas Luiz didn't even start. Their star, 60 million signing, came on, looked good in the second half. Yeah, Juve looking good, obviously, not the hardest test. A perfect game to get started for Thiago Motta at home against newly promoted Como. Very nice game to get started on. But yeah, if I had to pick the most impressive teams in matchday one, Juve probably the most impressive just because I watched them fresh right now. Lazio from the highlights I saw, and obviously Hellas Verona. Hellas Verona, they keep doing it, by the way, guys. What the hell? Their sporting director, I forgot his name. Like last season, the miracle that they did, and now match day one, it looks like they might do. Maybe they won't even fight for relegation if that's how they're going to perform. Mosquera, some unknown guy from Colombia, scoring 2 goals. The other guy from the Dutch league, I forgot his name, he scored the first goal. They keep doing it. They keep selling players. They sold Cabal, they sold Noslin, the main players from last year. Now it looks like the scouting is just on point. And Napoli, oh my God, Antonio Conte and Napoli. I mean, let's talk about the most impressive team, and now let's talk about the least impressive team. Definitely Napoli, 3-0 away to Hellas Verona. Wow. Yeah, that did not look like an Antonio Conte team. That's one thing, always with Antonio Conte, you can see when an Antonio Conte team plays, even if it's match day one, because after he's had those few weeks of, pre-season, those patterns of play, those trademark Conte patterns of play, we didn't see that. We saw nothing of that. And then defensively, an Antonio Conte team conceding 3 goals. I mean, of course, they've got João Jesus and Rahmani and Meret at the back, but bloody hell, even by that standard, they should not be conceding 3 goals. And they're not scoring any as well. Lots of work to do. I don't know if the 3-4-2-1 is the right way forward for Conte, because they, Lobotka and Anguissa as a 2 in midfield. Lobotka is a really nice player. I really always liked Lobotka if you followed me on this channel. But in a 2, with his short legs covering a lot of space. But then again, the squad is not fitting a 3-5-2. Usually, mostly we see Antonio Conte with a 3-5-2. But the squad and they're signing David Neres now in the transfer window, who is a right winger from Benfica, 30 million. He looks like he's not opting to have potential options for a 3-5-2. It seems like it's going to be 3-4-2-1 or nothing. So let's see if he gets the balance right. But lots of work to do. What I appreciate though with Conte was him taking the responsibility for the loss. He apologized and he said sorry to all Neapolitans. So fair play to Conte. He didn't throw De Laurentiis or Manna or anyone else under the bus yet. But we know that's coming, and we know if things get worse and Osimhen is still not sold, Lukaku is not signed, and other players are not signed, 31st of August, we might see a different coach at Napoli, to be honest. Yeah, those were kind of my main talking points of this match day one. Of course, we've already talked about Inter. I don't think we need to go over Inter, who are, clearly sluggish and still feeling the after effects of a heavy preseason. Actually, you can see that a lot with a lot of the teams. There was a lot of draws. The first match day was all draws. But I think it's that thing of, a lot of teams are preparing for this long ass season that's upcoming, and the preparations for this long seasons have probably been a bit heavier on the players, and I think they're still not quite sharp. I mean, even in normal seasons, match day one, everyone's not quite sharp yet. But it does make it for interesting football. Oh yeah, Fiorentina, that's one thing I forgot to talk about. Fiorentina looked a little bit, still lots of work to do for Palladino, going from a 4-3-3 of Italiano to Palladino's 3-4-2-1. Lots of work to do. Pongracic getting a red card on his debut. And Parma looking good though. Parma looking good. They look like they'll probably stay up for sure. It was a really, really, really interesting and enjoyable match day one. Let's see what else Serie A has in store for us and what other transfers are in store for us, because Serie A is busy in the last few days of Mercato because we broke, baby. We broke. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that video. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts of match day one. What did you make of Juve? What did you make of Milan? What did you make of Napoli? Is Conte even going to remain till the end of the season? Let me know in the comments down below, guys. Ciao ragazzi. Forza Inter, but today, Forza Serie A.